Hello everyone, Dylan of Dylan Days here with my first LEGO Star Wars Summer 2025 review, and this one's on the 327th Star Corps Clone Troopers Battle Pack that has now been released. Or now being released, actually. So on the front of the box here we have the LEGO Star Wars logos and the white strip border that we've been seeing since 2022, and obviously signifying that it's Clone Wars. And see a picture of the set in action on Felucia and all the minifigs included, and recommended ages is 7 plus, and set number 75431 has 258 pieces. Kind of weak for the price point, which I'll go over later. And flip to the back side of the box, having another battle going on with the minifigs there are, and logos again, and the set number again, and the website, and there. And that is it with the box. And now onto the manuals, which comes with two separate manuals. So all of which kind of could call back to the 2024 Clone Battle Droid Battle Pack for that. Back first one, just the Lego logo, and then last building sets for the Spider Droid. On the back of this one, ad for the online survey, then advertisement for about 3 of the other summer 2025 sets, which I will also be getting and reviewing, and well, quite soon. And then all the pieces that come with the set, of course. 3 pages, and the last building steps. So now on to like 2 of the 7 minifigs that there are. First of which we have the updated Super Battle Droid, which same one that came in the Clone Trooper Battle Droid Battle Pack and an advent calendar the year prior. So obviously not much to say there. So not much to say there, as I did in my review on that one there. But also we have what you're looking at, 1, but also 4 of the new 327th Legion Clone Troopers, which obviously the printing's quite good for how it is, and kind of matching to most current Clone Troopers. And also, odd thing is just about 2 pauldron parts instead of 3, like the earlier 2005-7 versions did. And also printed waist capes, which is kind of a common trend with Clone Troopers nowadays. Well, still wishing there could be physical, actual waist capes, but maybe in the future that could happen, but whatever. And now the helmet piece, same as we've had for the last few years, but obviously with some quite kind of good printing, yellow printing to it there. And obviously kind of like that with Commander Blythe, that also comes in the Separatist MTT also of this wave. And also have the cheek indents like we've been seeing since 2020. And then also do have an actual solid piece version of a pauldron for that compared to the thin cloth ones that there were. So this which kind of alright call back to those actual ones in the 2008-9 troopers that there were. So at least this one a little better than that. But yeah. And then as for the rangefinder, which also one that comes on Jango Fett in the new Slave 1 of this wave, but also first introduced on Jango Fett in the UCS Slave 1 earlier in the year. And how it, and of course, and yes, does well workable for how it is. Which also do get this piece as an extra piece in this set, of course. Must say. Also, and let's do that again properly. And underneath is a regular Clone Trooper face, which same kind that there has been since 2020. And as for the rangefinder and the eye part, kind of lines up quite well, despite being a little crooked like that for that, but at least well workable for that. So good improvement over the classic ones that have been around since like 2008. And onto the back sides of each of them, as you can see, nothing for the Super Battle Droid, but whereas for the 327th Clone Trooper, quite good for how it is. It's like obviously with some kind of similar to most Clone Troopers that there are, but yeah. Also this one, which is wielding long blaster, which with the candlestick part, which we have seen since the 501st battle back in 2020, but other two of which, but two others of which wielded the smallest blaster, and also the smallest one, and a pair of binoculars for that. And that is it with the minifigs. Right now, on to the main builds. First of which is this little can kind of thing. Yeah, this little turret here, which with a stud launcher on it, which launched off like so. And of course, this whole build of which just about the same as the one that came in the what's it called? That came in the Ambush on Mandalore battle pack last year or so, and also the 327th Clone Troopers battle pack in 2023. So not much to say about that one, about this one, but yeah. And next to which we have this little spider droid, which, as and of course we did have this build before in like some sets, but this one is a little bit different than that. Like obviously for the leg assemblies, or for just the legs here, comprised of like two different clip pieces, but one of which holding a battle droid body to there, and also a different clip part for the foot, but also it's kind of double jointed for that. So that of which is quite different than the previous ones of it. And then and obviously like the others, resting on the like bar to plate that there is with a clear cylinder, that which a little helpful but maybe not quite necessary, but yeah. And also, as for the main body part, which instead of being like a small or extra large ball joint piece, which they have used since like 2016 until 2022's ATTE set, but with this which just multiple pieces for that, which as you can see, pretty much just corner bricks and just large slopes around it, and also just not held with a plate, with this clip plate, and also minifig holders with studs on them for the eyes for that, and also a large rounded brick on top, and like the others, a musketeer sword piece, but as an antenna, of course, and also the front part of this little turret here, a little different than the previous versions, where instead of being like with a cone part at the end of it and a little hinge joint on it, instead just a little different clip piece holding it, that, and then ending off with a lightsaber hilt for that. So at least good change of pace for that. So obviously this is a major improvement over the previous Spire droids. And that's about it there. And then lastly is the 327th ATRT, which, as you can see, some building techniques and such, a little almost like the one that came in the first battle packet of summer 2020, but downsized just a little bit. And of course, also a good consistent color scheme of yellow, light gray, and dark gray, of course. So start first of which for the feet here, which are a little bit like which are a little quite different than previous ATRTs, but obviously it's all a little smaller for that. With the quarter slopes around, and also, and like other ones, had the like tooth parts for the toe assembly. And the back side of which does have just these G slopes on both sides there. And also the building techniques used for it is which quite unique for that, which, well, if you get this set, you would probably know that by now, but yeah. And for the leg parts, also like other walkers and ATRTs then, but also this was like a little smaller version of that, where just kind of those hinge bricks, but one of the smaller version that has a gold bar piece on top of it, just as green bling, and then also the upper leg part, which does have kind of a couple of brackets on the sides of them holding a grill piece, and also two of these dish pieces in yellow. Nice to get in that color, and also one of those little pieces just acting as greebling. So this whole leg assembly quite good for how it is. Then on to the top part of it, which another one of the dish pieces, and also one of the like corner tile pieces around, just on two different jumpers there. And then as for the like center body part of it, which kind of unique build for that, although most of them, where both legs of which are just held on through like little axle rod bricks holding it to this body part, and it's all held by one single rod piece in there. Which, well, if you get this set and build it up, you'd find out then. Then this front part of which does have a couple little flat parts, also like the 501st ones, but now saying 327th, of course, and then also like the 2021 has a tile piece with an arrow on it, and ending off with this little turret, like, or shooting part to it, which just has another stud shooter onto there, which fires off like so. But although it would have been better if it was on a mixel joint to turn all around, but this switch is just on a regular clip joint for that. And then as for this back part of which does have a couple of those little holder pieces acting as like the back piston parts, and then also like the previous versions, a couple different rods or hinge rods acting as little antennas for that, which turn up and downwards, and also this back part, which a couple jagged slope pieces there, and then these parts with gold bar pieces again, and then farther back side of which just a couple of clip parts to like clip blasters and other weapons onto, or other things onto, of course. And then also that dark tan plate on there, of which to like sit one clone trooper onto it, and if you are to clip to the handlebar piece, well, and also this, which just about like the 2020 one, where it's actually where the handlebars on a clip and it's held down by pieces, instead of unlike the 2019 one where it was on a single jumper and you can like tear the bar piece right off. But this on that, so at least nice to see that carry on onto this one. And on the top part of it, we do have just a little cheese slope with some like printings on it to be the control parts of it. But yeah. And now for a little comparison with this previous ATRT from 2020, or at least the one of the builds of the Mega of the 327th Battle Pack, or otherwise first Mega Battle Pack, of course, which, as you can see, a little smaller for how it is. And also, unlike this 2021, some bits are kind of like a little spread out a bit, but this one a little more come into it. So at least kind of good for how that is. And of course, sticker detailing is kind of similar to each other, but of course with different numberings for the different legions, and also one big con that there is just the price points of them. Like this first uh, Mega Battle Pack was obviously $30, but this new one is $45, which I'll get into the price a little later. But and also have a few different detailings for the legs parts, but also also not only stickers on, but there's very few stickers just on this front part of it. Even though this one did also have stickers, and the Dark Troopers one kind of did, and of course the feet, which also similar designs, but just in a large way and in a smallish way for that. Yeah. So I guess this one's kind of like some of the same stuff as this one, but just a little smaller and colored in yellow, of course. So now let me get everything in here. So now for my overall verdict, I think this is a quite very good set for how it is. Like obviously you do get a few super battle droids just in another battle pack again, and also whereas for both builds like the Spire droid and the ATRT, which well the ATRT a little bit iffy, but the Spire droid, which good improvement over the previous versions of it, and so now, as for the price point of it, like $45 Mega Battle Pack, which quite steep for how it is. Well, unlike the previous ones, which were 30, and or especially last year's Clone Battle Droid Battle Pack, which was 30 and or still 30, and had two regular battle droids in it, and of course that which still again, and of course that which still making it the most best battle pack there is. But this which at least is much best for that. Although what's kind of missing is one or two more builds for that. Even though in previous leaked versions of this set there was a like little slap build of Felucia or terrain build of Felucia, but didn't make it into this set. So whereas the extra $10-15 come in for that, unlike the cloned Rebel Trooper battle pack that was out last fall, and of course that well, its pricing make good sense. Well, minus the QTKT minifig part of that set. But yeah. And of course, although this one, which is a lot smaller than that one, but still not sure why, but whatever. Or maybe that, or maybe because of the new pauldron pieces and rangefinder pieces, is probably what brought the price up a bit, but or whatever. Not But then, whereas as for the 327th clone troopers, there at least great to get them in a smaller set like this, because even though we haven't seen any in sets for a long time, and whereas the printings of which almost as good as the previous ones, but and of course the helmet holes, everyone's love hate thing of it, but I don't care about that about the helmet holes, but yeah, and of course as and again, still would have been nice if that terrain build of Felucia could have been included. Well, unless if you were willing to make it from your own mocking pieces or whatever. But also for this set as a parts pack, I say good to get plenty of joint pieces in yellow and also some like some like clip pieces as well. But yeah, and well, and if you're now if you're looking to get this set for your uh, Clone or Clone Wars and Star Wars collections, then definitely pick it up. And if you're not wanting to pay the $45 of it, then wait for it to go on sale. And if you don't care much for the price point, and then definitely get this set. And if you are looking to continue army building both clones and battle droids, or continue your clone and droid armies, then definitely get as many of these as you can. But yeah, and that is it with this video. Please like, comment, share, and subscribe. Thank you for watching.